Hi everyone! As you can see, we have a lot of ingredients in front of me right now. I already prepared all the measurements so that it's easy for you to follow. So today, I'm going to make shepherd's pie. These are all the ingredients that we need. So first ingredients, we need 1 teaspoon of dried thyme. Now, if you didn't have dried thyme, you can use fresh thyme. That's totally fine. We also need 1 teaspoon of rosemary, and we also need 1/2 teaspoon of ground black pepper. We also need 1/2 teaspoon of iodized salt. We also need 4 tablespoons of flour. We also need 1 egg. And we also need 2 cups of beef broth. Peas, so right now I'm using frozen peas. We also need chopped onion. And we also need ground beef, potato, okay? And carrots. And we also need tomato paste. So I already prepared all the ingredients so that it's easy for you to follow. So now I'm going to use this to boil our potato, and of course you need to wash the potato first. So you see, some people, when they boiled some potato, they actually unpeeled them before they boiled, but for me, I don't actually like that way because it feels like there's a lot of water goes inside the potatoes. So I'm just washing the potato first. They are washed already when we bought them, but I love washing them again. We're just gonna add some water. So this is our potato. Let's boil them until it's tender, and let's move on to the next step. So now, while we are boiling our potato, let's cut these carrots into small pieces. So be careful for cutting the carrots. So now I'm just going to use a measuring cup. All right, 1, For the carrots, I'm using 2 cups. So for the peas, I'm going to use 1 cup and 1/2 cup of green peas. For our ground beef, so I'm using 55 grams of ground beef. So when you cook ground beef, you need to mix them so that it will cook even. So as you can see guys, I never add any oil first because what I'm trying to do here is I really wanna let the water come out from the ground beef and let it dry on its own, and from that I can add oil. You see, there's a lot of water come out from the ground beef. Alright, so let's check our potato because I saw it's already boiling. Every time you boil potato, make sure you always check them. Our potato is already tender. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to move that potato out from the cooking pot, and let's put that here in the strainer just to drain the water. So I'm using the clip. Our potato is cooked just perfect. We're just gonna let this cool, and while we are waiting the potato to cool down, let's move to the next step. I'm just going to let this dry because it has excess water. By the way, this is my first time cooking shepherd's pie. I'm going to use olive oil. You can actually use regular oil. I love using olive oil because it gives more flavor. Next, we're going to add our chopped onions. Mix them all the time just to cook them even. Alright, so next let's add the beef. So this is the ground beef that we cooked earlier. Now let's add the thyme and the rosemary. ground black pepper, and salt. So for the salt, actually I add 1 teaspoon. So overall I use 1 and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So I use iodized salt. And let's mix it again. Let's add the chopped carrots. And mix it again. So right now, I'm going to put cover. So by the way, I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of tomato paste just to give it a touch and color. Next, let's add the peas. So our potato is already cooled down. Now I'm going to unpeel them. I'm going to remove all the skin. So right now I'm using fork to unpeel the potato. It's actually very easy. So right now I'm going to mash the potato using this. This is actually the easiest way. We have 2 left. I'm not gonna use all of this potato because it's already too much. Let's add 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. Now let's add 1 tablespoon of butter. Next, let's add 1 cup of cheddar cheese. and mash it again. Followed by 1/2 cup of milk. Mix it again. Last ingredients is we are going to add 1 egg. Now let's mix it again until it mashed properly. And let's move on to the next step after this. Let's check this again. Now, let's add 2 cups of beef broth. So we might gonna add more. So let's see how it goes after these. Let's put the heat into medium high. Let's add tomato paste. So for the tomato paste, you can add 1 to 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. So for me right now, I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. And then mix them. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. So I'm gonna be using Kikkoman just to give it a little color. And let's mix it again. So the last ingredients is we're going to add 4 tablespoons of flour. And mix it again. Make sure you're on low heat. Make sure the heat is low. Alright, so let's check it again. If you can see if it's thickened already, that means that's good to go. And we can turn off the heat. Perfect. Now, I'm going to use this Corningware. Let's move this beef over here. Okay, let's flap that. Make sure it's level. Alright, so next we're going to add this mashed potato that we made earlier. all over the top. So yeah, this is very simple and very easy to make if you have all the ingredients. So this is our dinner tonight. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to use fork, you know, just give it a design. Just like that. So now we are ready to put this to the oven, and make sure you preheated the oven within 415. Alright, so our oven is ready, and anyway, we're just going to add a little bit of cheese on the top. Alright, so we are adding a little bit cheese all over the top before we put them to the oven.
Looking real good. Holy. It's done.
It's done.
It's done. Look at it, see?
So our shepherd's pie is cooked and it's ready. So we're just gonna let it cool and we're good to go for dinner.